Today, Trump threatened Putin with sanctions if he and Zelensky don't make peace. Less than an hour later, Russia said that they are willing to discuss a truce with Ukraine. But wait a second. I thought Trump is Putin's puppet. I thought he cozied up to dictators. I thought his supporters are just Russian bots. After his standoff with Zelensky, the media pushed a narrative that Trump is a bully, Zelensky is a victim, and Trump is paving the way for Putin, not peace. And that's because the media peddles narratives, not nuance.
But I think if I fully destroy the corruption and the graft, they will kill me.
A tough thing to live with.
Yes.
They profit from your fear. And by the way, here are a few of the many wins that have happened over the last 6 weeks that you probably haven't heard about. 1. In response to Trump's proposal to take over Gaza, on March 4th, the Arab nations held an emergency summit and pledged $53 billion to reconstruct Gaza without displacing Palestinians.
Yes, and immediately Zelensky tweeted this: "We continue working with partners who seek peace, just as we do, focusing on the necessary step. Next week, there will be a lot of work here in Europe with US and Saudi Arabia. We are preparing a meeting to accelerate peace and strengthen the foundations of security. Today, intense work with President Trump team has been ongoing at various levels. Numerous calls. The topic is clear: peace as soon as possible, security as reliable as possible. Ukraine is fully committed to a constructive approach. I thank everyone who is helping." That is Zelensky putting this out after President Trump declared, like, "I will go after Russia." When you take a look at what Trump said, based on the fact that Russia is absolutely pounding Ukraine on the battlefield right now, I am strongly considering large-scale banking sanctions and tariff on Russia until a ceasefire and final settlement agreement on peace is reached to Russia and Ukraine. Get to the table right now before it is too late. Thank you.
Back to Trump in this regard, we just saw it. That world just saw. It wasn't a press conference or anything like that. I don't call it that. Him with Ukrainian President Zelensky and how he went at him and what have you. Now, Zelensky, if I remember correctly, you didn't speak too highly of him. I want to make sure I'm quoting you accurately. You called him an actor. Is that true? Did you call him that?
I also just called him the neighborhood crackhead, kind of just goes around asking for money. I've called him a welfare queen, ghetto. This is the thing. The media kind of had me depicted throughout BLM as this person that uses these words to describe Black people. I'm like, no. Let's be very clear. When I am calling somebody like Zelensky a welfare queen, there's a reason for that. You come here with your hand out, asking, making demands. It's funny because I was having a discussion with my husband about this. And, you know, it's people that tend to need the most that make these sorts of demands, and they're so arrogant. He's taken billions away, unaccounted billions, by the way. So you and I have to get to work because Zelensky wants his borders protected, and we can't have our borders protected because that would be a racist thing to ask for. But he's allowed to demand that you and I get to work because he spent all the billions. His wife is shopping in Paris. The oligarchs in Ukraine are all buying yachts. And
yes, I understand. Some people don't know what exactly is even going on. When you take a look at this, Candace Owens totally opened Stephan Smith eyes on Zelensky and Ukraine. This is why people got to be careful about messing with you, because I was getting ready to disagree with you until you throw out those last facts. Didn't know he tried to go to the Oscar. I didn't know he tried to be on the cover of Vogue. I didn't know that stuff. Candace, I honestly didn't know. Okay, that doesn't change in a little bit. Stephan Smith didn't know that all this was happening.
When he said, "Oh, you don't have any of the cards. You don't have any of the cards." The flip side to it, however, is that the press conference, you're in the Oval Office. We know this is the White House. This isn't someplace in Ukraine. And he's got broken English, and you got the vice president interrupting him. You got them, I thought, somewhat bullying him to some degree. I just didn't think it was necessary. It was a good look. That's where I'm coming from. Am I wrong in feeling that way?
No, I think you're perfectly. I mean, these are your feelings. They're valid, right? If that's how you felt. For me, I felt it was refreshing. I'm so tired of politics. I know they always button it up for us. They're constantly telling us, "Oh, this," and saying things that sound good but don't actually result in good things. And I think it was sort of the frustration of how much he has taken from America to not come with some respect. And I likened it to even when you go to your granddad's house and it's your birthday, your mom kind of makes you wear something special. You know, he's going to give you a card and slip some cash in there, $100. Granddad's always good for that. And you just come with some decorum and some respect. This dude has been wearing military fatigues for like 5 years now. Okay. Put on a suit. As soon as he gets out of the car, Trump's like, well, he's dressed up. This should let you know, this should signal to the public that what he's doing is an act. Why? Give me a scenario, a reason why he can't put on a suit. Even if you're in the midst of a war, why can't you put on a suit when you're coming to ask for money? Well, because he wants people to see him as a guy that's downtrodden in the trenches. And he's not that. This guy's been on the cover of Vanity Fair. He's been on the cover of Vogue. He's been on the cover of Forbes. He's doing photo shoots. He did a 3-hour podcast with Lex Friedman. He asked and was declined a spot to go to the Oscars a couple of years ago. And so this is making a mockery. It's just making him put on a suit.
See,
you know?
this is why people got to be careful about messing with you, because I was getting ready to disagree with you until you threw out those last. Like, I didn't know he tried to go to the Oscars. I didn't know he tried to be on the cover of Vogue. I didn't know that stuff, Candace. I honestly didn't know. Okay, that does change it a little bit.
And he is a literal actor, by the way. You know that, right?
That I know. What I will say this, though, any sympathy for the fact that Russia did attack his nation? I mean, that there is some sympathy for that, right? We see the rubble. We see the catastrophe that is Ukraine. We see Putin, for crying out loud. We've seen that happen, right?
Yeah, so the thing for me is, and the reason why I say that I've had this opinion since the very beginning, is I don't rely on politicians. I think all politicians lie. And so I was reading the transcripts leading up to this moment of Putin's speeches and Biden's speeches and trying to discern what the truth was. And Putin was saying, you guys gave us assurances that NATO was not going to expand 1 inch eastward into our territory. Essentially, NATO is a military. We were putting a military on his border, despite in 1989, when the Berlin Wall came down, as a condition, an agreement for them to agree to take down the Berlin Wall. We promised, and you can go look at this in NSA declassified documents. James Baker was the Secretary of State at that time.
Yes, he was.
We promised them that we would never move NATO eastward.
Yes, I myself am actually shocked. I didn't know that this was even going on until I watched this interview. Candace Owens opening this guy's eye is something like, wow. The other day, Trump threatened Russia with large-scale sanctions and tariffs until a ceasefire and peace deal is reached with Ukraine. To Russia and Ukraine get to the table right before it's too late. When I saw that tweet, it reminded me of so many things. Someone sent this video to me. I didn't even know that Candace Owens, have these conversations with Smith. At a certain point, when you look at what is going on, especially with this issue, Zelensky has realized himself, like, I messed up. But now the pride to apologize openly, he can't do it. Candace Owens mentioned something here on this video about him going to the White House without putting on a suit. Something went viral 2 days ago on social media, like this question triggered Ukraine people to print out a t-shirt of his response why he can't put on a t-shirt. He is doing this, saying he will only put on something like a suit after the war. That is like a symbol of something to the Ukrainian people. But I'm triggered by the fact that I'm learning from this video from Candace Owens that this guy has been on covers to some of these people doing photo shoot during this period until even seeking to go to Oscar. I don't know. Thank you guys for always being there, sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. I don't want to make the videos long. As of clips behind here, this is just for the YouTube algorithm. They disturb a lot on this channel. Reason sometimes I don't even know why they continue to disturb the channel.
Was apropos of what's going on the left. And by the way, if you watch the speech, I saw mostly the clips of it, and mostly it was people in the audience, the guy with the cane. This is a terrible nightmare.
This is one of the lucrative helmets that they wear when they go to war.
Lucrative?
Yeah, lucrative. You know, this is the crash out buckets, because I feel like when you wear this helmet, you already crashed out. It's like you committed to the crash out. Like
Right. You're all in.
all in. So I feel like we at war right now with the Democrats. I know.
Why go after them, too? Go after the Republicans.
Because they don't know how to fight and be part of an opposition party. Representative Green gave them the example. The Democrats are not meeting the moment. It is very clear that Medicaid is on the table. It is very clear that Social Security is on the table. It is very clear that people will die.
Of people vote for the...
As long as we wrap before the new season of South.
Watch this moment where, of course,
When we talk about
What's up, my brother? It's all because of Trump. It is insane.
Real enemies.
Like, I think they actually want to kill me.
on social media for admitting that, but so be it. And the fact is that it doesn't matter whether Vice President Vance planned it or just took the opportunity to bait Zelensky. Zelensky took the bait, okay?
Yeah.
And
what happened at the White House today.
Today, Donald Trump irreparably destroyed the 80-year-old post-World War II international order.
An Oval Office ambush of an American ally that will reverberate all around the world and stain America's image for years to come.
That was, to say the least, the most contentious confrontation between world leaders perhaps we have ever seen, certainly on television.
It was a truly historic moment, not in the good way. One that I fear realigned the world order, upending the only foreign policy consensus that most living Americans and Europeans have ever known.
A complete and utter mess. We don't gain anything by acting like bullies, and this is what bullies do.
I think there's no question that this was a setup. You heard Donald Trump say at the end of that clip you played, this is great television.
To issue an apology tonight?
Absolutely.
All right, so, but what else is going on? Not much in the Oval Office to discuss the big turnaround that the country has done, where Trump says now he's the dictator.
Statement for sure to say that it is one of the most astonishing moments that we have ever seen happen.